what's going on, everyone? Welcome to a new episode of Mostly Wrong Opinions. I am Tyrone. That is Devin. If you could do us a favor real quick, please hit that like and subscribe button. But on today's channel, we got Mahershala Ali in Swan Song.
I can't lie to my family anymore.
The second you tell your wife that you are dying, your opportunity to do this is gone.
The Swan Song is a film that came out in 2021. And I think it's very creative, man. This is a movie to where it puts a new twist on a clone, but it is for purpose, because this film reminds me automatically of The Island. Just the purpose of The Island. Because
I suppose it's like The Island, but with like way less like Michael Bay. You know what I mean? Just like delete Michael Bay and add in just a absolute colossal ton of Black Mirror, and you probably got something like Swan Song. But like you said, Swan Song is about clones, but mostly it's about grief and dying. It's not a very heavy movie. But Mahershala Ali plays a guy with some sort of terminal cancer, and he's gonna die at any moment. He doesn't know when. He'll just have a seizure. He can just have a seizure and just die. And he is terrified of what his death will do to his family. So he decides to try this experimental procedure where they clone his body and place his memories inside the clone. And his clone takes over for him while he lies in hospice and dies alone. Yeah. But his family gets to live on happily. And he is wrestling with whether or not he should just be honest with his wife, be straight up with his wife and tell him that he's dying, or hide it and have his other self play cleanup.
Take over.
After he's gone. Yeah.
It's not delivering the conscious into the body or anything like that to where it's like that body is him. It's just moving memories.
Right. It's very the movie makes an extreme point to say, like, this is not your consciousness dies with you. You are dead. But there is just another you living with your family. Your family gets to have the Swan Song. They get to have the happily ever after. They get to live out their life completely oblivious, not knowing that you died maybe years ago. They get to go live their life and be happy. And the movie's interesting because it gives you a lot of reasons. The movie like poses a lot of reasons why he should go through this procedure and why he should not go through this procedure. Like they for the pros, they're like, oh, his wife, she's just freshly getting over the death of her brother, and she's just now breaking out of her shell. She's just now starting to make strides, and this is like a big motivator because he's like, I don't know if I want to put my wife through this again. But at the same time, he is lying. He's lying to his wife, and it seems like they've got a pretty healthy relationship where lying like this is not something they've ever done. So the movie does a pretty good job of essentially arguing with itself with its premise.
Let's talk about something that I really appreciate about this film, though. I love the cinematography in this film, man. They had some good places to shoot in this, and some of the like the buildings and the rooms that they were in. The production team did a really good job with that because it feels like it's in a distant future. And another thing that's awesome about this is the technology in the film. I'm like, yo, they can do blip blip, and then a whole screen comes up because they have like these like cell phones in their eyeballs, and I'm like, yo, that's tight.
Yeah, it kind of reminds me a little bit of like Minority Report, where it's like casually futuristic. Like people aren't like, let me get to the flux capacitor. No, they just casually have contacts that record everything. They just casually, instead of having a computer at their desk, their computer is just displayed through their contacts, things like that. Yeah. And through like little hand gestures. No one seems to drive, which is one issue with the movie I found. No one seems to drive, so they have these like automatic cars going around. So and they just very casually get in the cars and go. So that was pretty cool. The only issue with the driving thing is they established that her brother died in an automotive accident. So I'm like, I guess he drove his motorcycle. So I guess there's some driving, but not all the way driving. We never see anyone drive. We just see these automated car things, but you know, whatever. I was like, I should have had him die another way. But that's a small thing. That's teeny tiny. So you might have noticed that we're struggling to talk about other things because this is the biggest flaw with the film. Nothing else happens in this film. We have described everything that happens. We've described every scene that happens from beginning, middle to end. And this is the big problem because, like I said, this is essentially a 2-hour long Black Mirror episode. This you could probably tell this story in 30 minutes, but they fill a lot of the time with montages. This movie has like 45 montages in it. We get a montage for when he and his wife meet. We get a montage for when his wife's brother dies. We get a montage for when he has a flashback of one time they were eating breakfast or something. Like, this movie is just like montage after montage after montage. And again, I think that's because this movie has a very, not small, but a thinner premise than you might expect out of a 2-hour film. But what really carries it and helps it go through is Mahershala Ali's performance. I mean, it's very soulful. Same with Naomi Harris. And you really believe that they have a real relationship.
I get exactly what you're saying when it comes to that. It's like they took the topic of the film and they rode on top of the topic from the beginning to the end, but they didn't broaden it and write around it and made it thicker.
Right. There's not a lot here. This isn't necessarily a negative. I want to be clear. This isn't necessarily negative, but the movie is thin, right? It's very straightforward. There's no B plots, there's no C plots, there's the A plot. This guy is struggling with whether or not he should replace himself. That's it. There's no side plots, there's no side characters, there's no twists, nothing. It's very straightforward film, which in a way makes the film powerful because when we get towards the end and he's finally made his choice, you really feel the impact of that choice. So that it does make it powerful, but also to me makes it obvious that this is, like I said, like a lost Black Mirror episode.
And then you have Glenn Close in this, but she wasn't Glenn Closey.
I mentioned that too. I was like, it's Glenn Close, but she's like playing like a human, like a regular person. She's not out here trying to eat dogs or whatever she does. She's like, it's very low key for her these days.
Yeah, but she's like a renowned Oscar-winning actress, and it's like she's playing the role of like Susie Q could have did this or something. You know?
I guess anybody could have done it. You're right, but hey, if you got access to Glenn Close, why not? And I thought she did a good job because her character, you're not sure what her deal is. You're not sure if she is neutral or if she's like somehow evil with this whole thing. Because at one point she seems to be really pushing him to go ahead and go through the procedure. And at one point he has a seizure and he can't tell Glenn Close what he wants. So she just makes a decision on his behalf. And this is really interesting too, because our main character ends up having a debate with himself, like literally with himself, over this choice that he didn't get to make. So that was pretty interesting. I thought that was cool. That was very clever.
I kind of felt like the cinematographer of Christopher Nolan films was doing this with certain shots.
No, I don't know. Christopher Nolan's he's icy. Christopher Nolan is cold, and this movie is a lot more warm. Like you can feel two humans in the room talking to each other. Christopher Nolan, if you put
not
the humans feel like rocks or something. They don't. It's this film feels, and also this film has a lot more nature than like a Christopher Nolan movie. Christopher Nolan has like he's got like concrete slabs. This movie is like takes place in like the Pacific Northwest, and these long shots. Like one that I thought was really nice with our main character standing in the water, like waiting in the water, and there's like a mist rolling over the water. I thought it was really pretty. So I thought it was shot really well. But it is kind of like still, I guess. I understand what you're saying, like the Christopher Nolan thing. It's kind of still and blue, but it's not like industrial. It's
not in that same aspects of like, when it comes to the close-up shots of the dialogue between the actors. I'm talking about of the shots of nature, the shots of the homes and the technology and how broad it is and spaced out it is. It's very, very cool looking, because when you have a director like Christopher Nolan and his people, it's very, like you said, yeah, it's cold, and it looks like every movie looks like a stiff metal project. So
yeah, I'm not sure if Christopher Nolan's ever seen a human before. So like his movies they're not really shot like he's looking at people. This movie feels like someone who wrote this actually had a relationship at one point. You know what I mean? So this feels a lot more real, which is a testament because, like you said, this does take place in the future, and they are using future technology throughout the film, and it doesn't really overshadow the performances or the heart or anything like that.
With that being said, we're just gonna go ahead and do our rating for this film. Mahershala Ali's acting is strong, and it just proves that, you know, he deserves those 2 Oscars for Best Supporting Actor. Pretty soon, he might get a best leading actor in leading role one day. And I love the look of this film, but I do have to take points off, which I agree with you, man. It just didn't have that much else to talk about besides the topic at hand.
Yeah.
So
there ain't nothing else to talk about.
I'm gonna have to give this film a 7, man.
I think a 7 is perfect, but I'm gonna give it a 7.5. I don't know why. I guess a feeling. I think it's just because I think it's pretty.
You just want to
I guess so. I guess there's one up you, man. I don't know why, but I'll give it a 7.5. I did like the film. I thought it was a clever film, and I went into the film not knowing anything about it. When you suggested it, right. I didn't know anything about it. I just pressed play. So I feel like I was really surprised by the premise of the film, which I always really enjoy. But it is like kind of a sappy film too. It is like they lay it on thick, man. I think the film wants you just to cry all the way through, and you know, I didn't cry at all, and I cry pretty easy. I feel like in movies, and I didn't cry at all. But that doesn't mean the film wasn't effective. The film was still very effective, and I still like this movie quite a bit. And I thought it was a good suggestion.
Thanks, man. You know, I just come with the thunder sometimes, the purple thunder. So,
yeah, that's funny.
But I gave this film a 7. Devin gave this film a 7.5. It is on Apple TV Plus right now. You can go ahead and check it out. That is our review for Swan Song.
I love you, Cameron Turner.
I'd like to thank you guys for coming to this channel, Mostly Wrong Opinions, and clicking on the video. Thank you so much. You know how you can help us out more? You can click that button right down there to that side right there. That right side is a red.
That one right there? The red one?
It says subscribe.
Oh.
You know what I'm saying? Go ahead and smack it. you will get all the joy in the world.
You get some.
You get some. You can hit that thumbs up if you liked our review for this video, or you can hit that thumbs down. You'd be like, I don't want to be a clone. I want to be a human. Yeah. And you guys suck. Whatever it is, you thinking it is your opinion, but just remember one thing. It is mostly wrong. See you guys in another video. Peace.